All right, guys, so here are today's notes. Again, it's going to review a little bit of what we did yesterday, and it's going to add a few extra things. When you guys upload these notes, you're going to notice it's a note packet. You got 4.1, 4.1, you got 4.2 down here. So don't worry about this stuff that comes on down here. We will get to it at some point, but you're going to notice again, like this is a big packet, but we're not going to be doing all of this, especially this semester. Some of it we'll be jumping into next semester. So going back to what we did yesterday. So the first thing is we have 4 quartiles, okay? So we have our quartile 1, we have our quartile 2, we have our quartile 3, and we have our quartile 4. Again, we won't use these often, but sometimes you'll have to grab a point, and it's going to ask you what quartile is that point in. And now you have to scroll up here and look at these 4 quartiles to identify which quartile the points are in. So for example, down here, it's going to say determine which coordinate, not quartile, determine which coordinate the points are located, and you're going to say either 1, 2, 3, or 4 after you graph them. And we'll get to that in a minute. So right here, we're graphing ordered pairs. Okay, so it wants us to graph these 4 numbers, and I'll color coordinate them. The first one's going to be black. It is -1, +2. So again, I'm going to go -1 first. We always run before we jump. We go to the left 1 and then up 2. And that is going to be my first point. All right, my second point is going to be 3, 0. So I'm moving to the right 3, and then I'm not moving at all, okay, because the 0 says don't move after that. There we go. I'll zoom in a little bit for you guys. And then we have a 2, -1. So +2, down 1. Again, my x comes first. We're always moving the x-axis first, and then the y-axis. And then last but not least, we have our -2, -3. They're both negative, so I'm going to the left 2, 1, 2, and then down 3, 1, 2, 3, right there. And those are our 4 points. It also wants us to identify where the origin is. Remember, the origin is just the middle of the graph. We'll put that in the yellow. And our origin would be right here. So that's all we had to do for example number 1. We had 4 points in which we needed to graph. All right, and number 2, guys, we are now creating a table. So again, we want to have an x and a y, because every single coordinate point has an x and y. We want to make numbers that go in for that x, so I'm going to do 0, 1, and 2. Those are the easiest ones. And then we need to start plugging them in. So I'm going to have 2 times 0. Actually, I'm going to type that out for you guys. Yeah, y equals 2 parentheses 0 plus 1. All right. And then we're going to do it again. I'm just going to do it right away. Got y equals 2 parentheses 1 plus 1. And then we're going to have one more of those. That's going to be y equals 2 parentheses 2 plus 1. All right, and so those are going to give me my 3 y's. So my first one, 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. My second one, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And then 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Now I have 3 points. So this is a point. This is a point. This is a point. So we plugged in our x's to find our y's. So notice how we substituted whatever we chose for x, and that gave us our y's. Now we can plot these. 0, I'm not moving at all, but I'm going up 1. I'm going over 1 up 3. And I'm going up 2 over 2 up 5. And there we go. Whoa, that was not right, but I can move it. There we go. So that's example 2. So both of those is what we already reviewed both of that yesterday. So that should not be new to you guys. Now we wanted to know if this is a solution. So this is a little new. All we're doing is we know that this is our x because we know when we have a coordinate pair that whatever number is there represents x, whatever number is there represents a y. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take that 1, we're going to take that 2, and we're going to plug it into the equation. So instead of x plus 3y equals 6, we're going to do x, which is our 1, plus 3y, which is our 2, equals 6. Now, if it's a solution, it's going to be true. If it's not a solution, it's going to be false. So basically it's saying, is this point on the line? Because this would be, that's going to make a line at some point. We're going to talk about linear equations. That's going to create a line. And it wants to know, is this point on this line? Just as this point is not on this line. So this point would not be a solution to this line, right? But these 3 points, as well as this point, would be a solution because it is on the line. All right. So we have 3 times 2, which is 6. We got 1 plus 6. 1 plus 6 does not equal 6. That equals 7, right? So this is not a solution. No. All right. That's example 3. We got 2 more examples left. We got example 4. We want us to plot these 4 points, and then you need to name what quadrant they are in, what quadrant or what coordinate they are in. So the first one is -3, 6. And we go to the left 3, 1, 2, 3, then up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is going to be in quadrant 2. And again, if you're not sure which ones they are, you can go back up here and look at the beginning of the notes. All right, and then we have 2, -15. Now this one is not going to end up on the graph, and that's okay. 1, 2, and then -15 is going to be like down here. So if it goes off the graph, you can just draw it at the bottom of the graph. That's fine. Normally, we won't give you situations like that. And that is going to be in quadrant 4. Then we have 7, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and up 9. All right. And that is quadrant 1. The last one has 2 negatives. I can already tell you this is going to be quadrant 3. I'm still going to graph it though. -1, -3, 1, 2, 3. There you go. So there's our 3 points, and then we identify what quadrant they're in. All right. Last but not least, we want to solve for y. All right, so this is what we're going to be getting into next week. Later this week. This is probably the most difficult part. We won't see any that are quite this difficult, but I do want to show you what we're going to do. Okay, so what we're going to do is something called y equals mx plus b. This creates any type of line in the world. Okay, that is our standard form for what a line would look like. And so we need y by itself in order to create a line. So like over here, we need to get y by itself right here. So what we need to do, just like in the formula, we need to get the x to the other side. Which is then going to give me 5y equals, these are not like terms, so now we just write -2x plus 15. And y is not by itself yet. We have one more step. Our step is to divide. We're going to divide by 5. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. These cancel out. We're left with y. With lines, if it doesn't reduce nicely, you just leave it as it is. So like this situation right here, that's going to give you a decimal. So we're just going to leave it as 2/5 x plus 5. That's how we isolate x, okay? We will start doing this, but I'm not going to give you guys, like that is a 1, 2, 3 stepper. We will practice getting y by itself with more of like a 2-stepper or 1-stepper, okay? But that's what we're looking for. That is our y equals mx plus b form, all right? So what you guys got for homework right now is you're going to do this worksheet right here, 4.1. You're going to do, and I'll keep these circled for you guys. Okay, you're going to do 1 through 4. You're going to do 5 and 6. You have to make tables for those. Okay, tables and graph them. Then you're going to solve for y. You're going to do 7, 1-stepper. I'll have you do 7, and we'll have you do what's another one that's just like the one we did. We can have you just do 7, and then you're going to do this whole section and say whether there's solutions or not. Okay, so you plug 2 with 0 in, tell if it's solution, negative 212 in, solution. So that's your homework. You got 1, 2, you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 problems to do. And then do not go on to the 4.2 notes. We won't even get to that this week probably. We'll stick with lines all week long. So let me know if you have questions.